I'm going to start with the administration part. And as you know, I am the administrator, and I believe that, I have the responsibility to audit the chart and at least set up some process or example for the program director to follow up and make sure this, the center and is in compliance and related to the federal and the California state regulation. I did my part of it, and sometimes I invited Charles to conduct the audit for my centers as well. So from administration part, when I started audit, I look at the plan of operation. At this time, the TAS operation plan, that is the one that approved by the state. And then look at the staff arrangement form, and importantly, I want to see the plan, the staff planning, and on each week, and we call the weekly staffing plan on the wall, and also check the timesheet and see if that match. And also I look at the policies, procedure, any memos from the program director, and some protocols from the different disciplines. And for the TAS in service, the checklist, if you provided any in-center services, we need to conduct that checklist. So if we did, I will ask if we have that in-center service or not. If we do, and we need to check that. And then of course, I check the training logs and training that records, and also the MDT records. And with all the signatures, or if without the signature, at least we have the notes with the meeting minutes and the program director signed, and interview the staff. And I conduct the interview to a group of social workers, and a second group of interview with the nurses, and very intensive interview with the program director. And also that I might call the families and call the participants as well. So now Charles will introduce his part of the health records audit process. Charles, please.
Okay, great. For health record, I would like to let you just imagine you don't know the person, okay, which is your participant. You want to see how you can help the person. So it's all about the person center. And then you want to see what kind of service the CBAS center can provide, okay? And what's the regulation of the CDA, okay, or based on the policy and procedure. And the first one I'm going to check for the health record is I was going to see the CDA, CBAS TAS, the policy directive. Then you can see the service, and you can see the staff and documentation, under what kind of regulation you have to do that. And then we're going to check the TAS plan of the operation. Remember, when we start the TAS period, we always need to submit a plan of operation. And it's very interesting, because there you can see when, who, what, where, and how. That's what means like when to start your task. So that's from that information, I can go to the progress note, I can go to the documentation, see you do have this kind of documentation and how you started, okay? That's exactly the day, because of when you start your service as the task, okay? Who to do it? Because remember, there's a staffing, okay? You see, it's a lot of center, they have the OT, PT, or maybe the social worker, RN, and the activity coordinator. So when I see the staffing arrangement, I want to see the documentation. Okay, so that's when I check the plan of operation, what to provide, where to provide, at center, at home, or just telehealth, and how you provide it. So everything, the plan of operation, they give you like a broad idea of how the center going to provide the service. Then they go back to the participant. Remember that we don't know the person. We want to see the first impression. So I start with the doctor's HMP. So you know the medical diagnosis, you know what's the doctor prescription, you know what the medication or some kind of the the guideline you need to follow based on the doctor HMP. Because just as Dr. Cosme say, if the pressure, the blood pressure is higher than what, you need to do certain kind. You need to contact the doctor. So you need to know about the doctor's prescription and what kind of the service you have to provide. For example, let's go back to the originals, the first case I mentioned about the diabetes. You need to check the blood sugar, right? You make sure everything. So this is a first impression. When you see the HMP, I know exactly or what's the basically or needs the participant need. Even your IPC doesn't mention that, but it doesn't mean you have to overlook that, or you might overlook that one. So that's when you provide a better center care, a better participant needs center. That's you give them the information. So what's the diagnosis you don't reflect in your IPC. So that's where how start to my thought about the first impression of the person who need a certain kind of the service. Then I go to the IPC, because always the HMP trigger to the IPC. So always this is just compare the HMP diagnosis, IPC service, and the service, the intervention or treatment you're going to provide, or service you're going to provide, and the frequency. So that's everything is all connected. Okay, but for the another thing is for the task period, you might include in the COVID-19 screen. Remember, it's as a requirement, it's weekly. That means every week you have even no change, or there's some kind of change based on your COVID-19 screening. So there you need, that's a trigger to generate your service. That's a trigger, you need to have a documentation. So remember, it's not just a check. When you check, you need to follow, you need to follow through. Okay, so that's how do that one. Everything all reflects to your progress note. Okay, I check the attendance record and flow sheet. What's that for? That means that the service you provide, you need to have a note. Even you do a very simple phone call and nothing changed, that you have to do that because your attendance. And remember, you do that and you bill that, and we want to see the documentation. Okay. Then the most important for me, I think, is the progress note. Progress note is just like I would say it's a line. I mean, it's connect to all the events, connect to all the needs that you have at the center. Then this is the progress note. Give the person a picture, the whole pictures that's about what kind of service or what's the development. It could be a up and down, or it could be something, it's just as the same. Okay, so the progress note, that's I always check. I see there's a lot of people, they just have the progress note the same all the time. They just cut and paste. This is no good, because I don't believe that it's going to be the same. At least something happened, but you don't want to see even the comma, the period, the capital letter is the same. So the progress note need to be follow up and follow through. Then I go to the quality. The quality is progress note. Is go back and check the UIPC, and they say what's the treatment you provide, and about the service you provide is fulfill the need of your participant. Okay, then the 6 months, you go back to reassessment. And this is on and on and on. Maybe the needs you need in 3 months, you already fulfill, and you come out, you have another needs. So this is how we do the person-centered care. Okay, so this is how I go. It's just like the connection from the beginning to the end. And this is all the continuously and continue reassessment, continue providing the service, and the continue coordination. So this is everything in just one package. Okay, so that's what I do when I do the health records review. And I think there's more details there, but we can talk a lot. That's when they come the case study. You see everyone's different, everything different. We have a different situation coming up. You need to coordinate, you need to do a liaison, you need to provide this and that. That's based on the experience of your program director under your staff. Okay, so it's very important, the training, it's very important, the coordination. You have the meeting regularly. We all share the information. We all learn from each other. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, Charles. This is actually what Charles and I, we work together, and I'm more look at the administration part, and then he's the one that look at the health records parts, and and make sure that it's all in compliance. So now can we